Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game according to me. This is my weekly podcast where we're talking about what's going on in college and pro football. Same thing as always. We'll talk about college first, and then we'll get down with NFL last. However, I want to take the time to make a quick thought about Aaron Judge hitting number 62. A tremendous feat for Aaron Judge. He is the American League and Yankees, because it was done by a Yankee, single season home run leader. And it is such a great feat for Aaron Judge. It's unbelievable. You never would have thought someone would have done it in this day and age where people are throwing harder than ever before. And it is amazing to see what he has done. And he should be proud, and he should be, wonderful. But with that being said, for those idiots out there, and that includes Roger Maris Jr., who's trying to put an asterisk by this, or say that this is the clean home run record, or this is this is the true home run record. Get the hell out of here. Barry Bonds in 2001 hit 73 home runs. That is the single season home run record. In 98, Mark McGwire hit 66. He then next year, 99, hit 64. I think he did. No. He hit 66 in 99. He hit 70. He hit 70 in 98. Sammy Sosa, but then he hit 66 in 98. He then hit 63 in 99, and he hit 64 in 2001. All before Aaron Judge, who is now the 7th on the list of the single season home run record, and he's got one more game today, so he could hit a few more. But right now, he's at 62. He is not the single season home run king. He is the single season leader in the American League and the single season leader for the New York Yankees. But otherwise, he is not the single season home run king. And let's stop it right there. To say anything else is stupid. And to say it would be stupid. Okay? So, let's celebrate Aaron Judge for doing what he's done. He's looking like he could win the Triple Crown. And he probably, although Shohei Ohtani, with him being a pitcher and a hitter, doing what he's done, he might take away votes from Aaron Judge, but Aaron Judge should be the unanimous AL MVP of this year. And congratulations for him on a tremendous season as him and the Yankees look to bring another ring to the Yankees organization. But please, let's not be ignorant here and think that it's anything that the single season home run king is anyone else but Barry Bonds. So let's start with the college football last Thursday. BYU beat Utah State 38-26. They have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this week in Las Vegas. That should be a hell of a game. UCLA slipped by Washington Huskies last Friday, 40-32. UCLA is ranked and is looking to continue their momentum. Then this Saturday, Kentucky lost to Mississippi, 22-19. I really wanted Kentucky to try to, fight for the SEC championship. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now. That sucks. Kansas State beat Texas Tech 37-28. Michigan beat Iowa 27-14. TCU smoked Oklahoma 55-24. Two consecutive losses for Oklahoma under Brent Venables, and their defense not looking good so far.
Utah beat Oregon State 42-16. Oklahoma State beat Baylor in a rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game 36-25. Wake Forest beat Florida State 31-21. Kansas maintains unbeaten and is ranked 19th, 14-11 over Iowa State. Alabama had a amazing game against Arkansas. Was up by a lot. They lost their quarterback Bryce Young to a shoulder injury. The backup came in, and the running back they just ran all over Arkansas in the second half. And when Arkansas came back and had got the thing to 3, it was 2 actually, 28-26. But they stood up and became Alabama. Alabama beat Arkansas 49-26. Ohio State beat Rutgers 49-10. Penn State beat Northwestern 17-7. Mississippi State beat Texas A&M 42-24. Syracuse beat Wagner 59-0. LSU beat Auburn 21-17. They had a little bit of a comeback, I believe, from LSU in the game. Cincinnati beat Tulsa 31-21. Georgia had to come back from Missouri, winning final minutes of the fourth quarter, 26-22. Clemson beat NC State 30-20. USC beat Arizona State 42-25, and Oregon beat Stanford 45-27. And as we look ahead to this week's actions, the big game, College Game Day, is going to Lawrence, Kansas, as the 17th ranked TCU Horned Frogs going up against the 19th ranked Kansas Jayhawks. This is a big game for the University of Kansas. Can they beat TCU? Can they remain unbeaten? Because right now the Big 12 is ripe for the picking. With Oklahoma losing twice already, this could be an amazing thing, for Kansas. Then they're going to have to deal with Oklahoma State. But if they can beat TCU, this could skyrocket this program out of the doldrums of the Les Meyer era, the Mark Mangino era, the Charlie Weiss era, all of them. So we'll see what happens in that game. Again, game day is going to be there in Lawrence, Kansas. Amazing. The 8th ranked Tennessee Vols are going against the 25th ranked LSU Tigers. That should be a very interesting one. Tennessee, the highest they've been ranked, I think I heard someone say they've been ranked in over 12 years. Then number 8, that's amazing. Tennessee has a chance to continue their quest to become the SEC champions and the SEC representative in the college football playoffs. Mississippi State takes on Arkansas. Michigan is at Indiana. Cincinnati hosting South Florida. The 7th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys are hosting Texas Tech. It's always a big game, always a shootout between those two teams. That's going to be very interesting, I think. Georgia and Auburn. Oh boy, this one, the deep. I believe. I forget what this is called. I don't know if this is clean old fashioned hate. I think clean old fashioned hate may be. Clean old fashioned hate may be actually Georgia Tech and Georgia. Let me do a quick Google search here for a minute. Clean old fashioned hate. Yeah, that's between Georgia and Georgia Tech. So this Auburn versus Georgia is the Deep South's oldest rivalry. And it's going to be one, even though Georgia Tech is ranked number 2, I think this is going to be just as tough for Georgia to win as it was against Missouri. So that's going to be a good game to look out. That's at 3:30 p.m., so surely that means that's going to be on the CBS. I think the Alabama game is going to be on at night. Utah, 11th ranked Utes, are going to UCLA and take on the 18th ranked Bruins. Washington, now ranked 21, are going to go up against Arizona State. Ohio State is at Michigan State. Always a battle between those two teams, even if Ohio State is a better team. It always seems to be An amazing game between those two teams. Mississippi against Vanderbilt. Kentucky hosts South Carolina. USC is hosting Washington State. Kansas State is at Iowa State. Like I mentioned in the Shamrock Classic, BYU is taking on Notre Dame in Las Vegas. This is going to be a tough one for BYU. And Notre Dame might be getting Notre Dame just coming off of the bye, getting all their stuff straight. And they just coming off a game where they scored a lot of points against North Carolina. So maybe they found their offense at Notre Dame with Drew Pine at quarterback. So we'll see. Clemson is at Boston College. Wake Forest hosts Army. Florida State is at NC State. Like I mentioned, Texas A&M is at Alabama last year in Texas A&M. They beat Alabama, making Jimbo Fisher the first coach who had coached under Nick Saban to beat Nick Saban. Obviously, Kirby Smart then went on to do it in the national championship game. But Jimbo Fisher was the first, and the stuff that went on in the offseason with Alabama, Nick Saban, saying that Texas A&M has been doing dirty and they've been, cheating the system with the NIL and stuff like that. There is some bad blood here, and we're going to see how it goes. Stephen A. Smith has been saying that Alabama's going to torch Texas A&M. I'll wait and see for that. Alabama is ranked number 1 now, but we'll wait and see what happens. And then it's a game that's going to be good. This is one of those games that I wish I actually might have. I'm gonna be watching Notre Dame. That's my team, but I might put it on Alabama, Texas A&M over on the other monitor, so I can see them. And then later on at night, late night, if all you bettors who are chasing Oregon, the 12th ranked Oregon Ducks will be at Arizona. That should be a absolute blowout for Oregon. So there you have it. This week coming up in college football should be a grand week of college sports. Maybe we get a couple upsets. Who never knows? We should get a lot of great games. And the same thing should go for the NFL. And now we go to the NFL. We go back to last Thursday when the Bengals beat the Dolphins 27-15. And of course, the big news came out of that game was Tua Tagovailoa's concussion, and scary looking concussion. His fingers were locking up. Just absolutely horrible sight. And then that came after, last week's week 2, or week 3, whenever. Whenever the game was, game against the Buffalo Bills, when it looked to be like Tua Tagovailoa maybe had a concussion then, but it was deemed a back injury. And I know some people have come out and said that, a back injury could cause, gross motor instability, which now is a word that we now know because of this. And when someone shows gross mobile instability, it's supposed to be a no-go. No matter what happens, they're not supposed to go back into the game. And of course, we know Tua Tagovailoa, not only did he come back into that game and finish that game, he started last week's game against the Bengals on Thursday night, just 3 days afterwards, and he got concussed. So they have already ruled him out for this week's game, but we do wish Tua a great road to success coming back from this concussion, and hopefully the Dolphins have also fired the guy who was supposed to be the guy who does the concussions and things like that, because apparently the NFLPA did some investigating and found out that he did the test wrong on Tua. So he's been fired by the Dolphins, and so yeah, it's just a all around just crazy situation going on down there in Miami. That's on the field. Like I said, the Bengals won 27-15. Going over to Sunday, first game of the day, we're in London. We're doing the London games now. Vikings beat the Saints 28-25. A 61-yard field goal from Will Lutz. The Saints double doinked off of the goalpost, causing them not to end an entire game. Vikings win. The skin of their teeth. The Seahawks beat the Lions 48-45. Roger Griffin III. Someone needs to take his Twitter away. He said that and he said, and for those of you who don't know, Antonio Brown was filmed basically showing a woman his member in Abu Dhabi for all places. And so Robert Griffin, the Robert Griffin III puts out that the Antonio Brown showed more D than the Lions and Seahawks together in their game did, and it was just wow. Someone needs to take his Twitter away because he he takes his microphone away because he said something on Monday Night Football that was insane, and so it's just oh no. Seahawks are surprisingly good. Smith is playing very well, and the Lions, who a lot of us picked to be a surprise team, they're scoring points, but their defense is stopping nobody. Not sure what is happening there. And that's sad because I think this team, as you can see, offensively they're good, and they just need to get it together on defense, and so hopefully the Lions will be able to do that. Jets beat the Steelers 24-20. Zach Wilson's first game back played. He looked hapless in the first three quarters, but the fourth quarter he was on point. 10 of 14 for over 100 yards, making some tremendous throws to keep the game alive for the Jets. And the Steelers offensively was not there. They made the switch from Mitchell Trubisky to Kenny Pickett. He threw 3 interceptions. But scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. Try to get them back together. It just wasn't working. Jets beat the Steelers 24-20. Giants beat the Bears 20-12. Justin Fields looked better, but was still missed a bunch of throws. He had Mooney down the seam for an open throw, and he just didn't connect. And the Giants lost both their quarterbacks. Daniel Jones to an ankle injury, Tyrod Taylor to a head injury. Had Saquon Barkley running, being the quarterback for a little bit there, but the Bears get in the red zone, just couldn't do anything. So Giants won 20-12. Titans beat the Colts 24-17. Don't know what's going on with those Indianapolis Colts, what is going on with that offense. Titans trying to get back on track. 2 wins in a row, I believe, right? So Titans looking to be there. They have to deal with the Jaguars, though. Chargers, talking about a team getting back on track, beat the Texans 34-24. The Falcons, another surprise team at 2-2, tied with the Buccaneers on top of the division. Taking on the Browns, they won 23-20. This is the game that the Browns should have won. Cordell Patterson, however, is injured, and he's gonna be off for a little while, so that's gonna take up the Falcons' running game. Cowboys with the Commanders 25-10. Cooper Rush is doing what he needs to do to just win games. They're running the football. He's not making mistakes. And the Commanders can't do nothing on offense, it seems like that. This looks like to be Carson Wentz's final, stands there, and this might be Chico's final year there as well, in Washington. Chico being Ron Rivera. The Jaguars lost to the Eagles 29-21. They had a 14-0 advantage, but the Eagles came back. Trevor Lawrence in that rain just couldn't hold on to the ball, had 4 fumbles. And it was just unfortunate for the Jaguars. That's a game that later on down the line, that's a game that the Jaguars will win when Trevor Lawrence is able to become, more experienced. But the Eagles won, go to 4-0, still the only undefeated team in the NFL, 29-21. Bills beat the Ravens 23-20. Talk about another comeback. Down 20-7. Bills came back and scored 16 points to make it, to give them a chance. And the Bills could have done more than that. And it's all about Josh Allen and his never give up, never die attitude. And for those of y'all saying Lamar Jackson was better than Josh Allen, stop it. It's not even close. Go back and listen to my thing. Josh Allen, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in this league right now. And Lamar Jackson, even though he had played well the first couple games of the season, he still like 13th. Not even close. Bills win 23-20. Cardinals beat the Panthers 26-16. Just Baker Mayfield's not doing it. He has regressed heavenly this year, and you can see it without question. With Sam Darnold being out, they're the only quarterback that he has. So Matt Rule, who's probably now the hottest coach on the hot seat, he is probably not going to be there at the end of the season again. So there's that. And for Arizona, they needed this one to get back into the win column, 2-2, stay close to the Rams and the 49ers. And really, this was kind of about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt went into a field that his heart struck back at the beginning of the week. He put it out on Sunday morning during Twitter, because it was leaked to Jay Glazer and he was going to report on it. So he wanted to, make sure he did it. I don't know who leaked that stuff. But if J.J. Watt didn't want that out there, I think that's always something that I deal with, because I, like many others, I like the fact that the insiders give us the information that on these athletes in all sports. But I also do think that unless the athlete wants something really to be out there, that you should not put it out there. If someone leaked that to Jay Glazer, that's fine, and he's got a job to do, and that's fine. But I think if I was in that position, I would have called J.J. Watt and said, "Hey, J.J., I was told this. It happened. Would you like to confirm it?" I didn't want to go on the air with this something like this without talking to you about it. Is it something that you would be okay with me doing, or would you like me to hold on to this? That's what I would have done, but it's neither here nor there. So yeah, I'm just glad JJ's okay, and he played yesterday. He was a big impact. He tipped the ball, caused it to be intercepted. So JJ's still a player, and he's still playing. And but more importantly, I'm glad he's in good health right now. So that's good. The Raiders beat the Broncos 32-23. The Broncos needed that game. The Raiders needed that game. You couldn't go 0-4 in the division, and they did. Now they're 1-3, and the Broncos are 2-2, and so now it's done for them with the Broncos, and they need to get their stuff together as well. Packers beat the Patriots 27-24. They were out Mac Jones, and they were also Brian Hoyer, as Brian Hoyer got hurt very early in that game. They went to Bailey Zappi, a rookie, and he played well for his first game, probably real game action. He's played pretty well. So we'll see what the Patriots do go on as things go time. And the Packers, they look like they're finding some guys, and Romeo Dobbs and some other things. So the Packers may be on their way to starting their rise back to the division like we think. Chiefs beat the Buccaneers 41-31. Just amazing. Patrick Mahomes. While people like me are saying Josh Allen is the best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is saying, "What are you saying?" And just amazing games, amazing things that he does. And I really think it is just at this time, it is just who do you prefer? Who do you prefer? Do you prefer Josh Allen, 6'5", 250, running over folks, the arm, or do you prefer Patrick Mahomes, 6'3", 210, doing Houdini magic? Who do you expect? I think that's really all his case is, because Patrick Mahomes is there as well, but I still say Josh Allen is the best quarterback. And Monday Night Football, boy, the Rams. Super Bowl hangover, anyone? 49ers beat the Rams 24-9. Just bad interceptions by Matt Stafford. And we saw this in Detroit. For as good as Matt Stafford is, he is a gunslinger, and he does give the ball to the other team pretty often. So I was not shocked to see he's one of I think 3 quarterbacks to have more interceptions than touchdowns this season. One of those is Justin Fields, my quarterback. But he is and he seems to be stuck on Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had 14 catches in that game for 19 targets. He doesn't seem to be throwing the ball to anybody else. Allen Robinson not been a factor. Tyler Higbee doesn't seem to be a factor as well. And of course, their running backs, their run game, this has just been awful. So 49ers did what they had to do, and Jimmy G did what Jimmy G does, played an efficient game, and get the ball to his playmakers, Deebo Samuel, Jeff Wilson Jr., all those guys, and there was nothing else to do. So Rams beat the 49ers 24-9. As we look at this week, tomorrow night we have the Colts and Broncos. Both teams, can't get too far behind their first place teams in their division, and this is going to be pretty interesting. Jonathan Taylor does look like he's going to play. He's been out. Also, their star linebacker Shaquille Leonard has been out. He has some concussion symptoms. So, and with everything that was happening with Tua, they're just not going to go with this. So he's not going to play. He also apparently broke his nose, which is amazing. How do you break your nose when you got the helmet on? So, who knows about that? So, but that's tomorrow night, kicking off week 5. We've got the Giants and the Packers over in London. The Packers playing in London. This will be the 32nd team. All 32 teams will have now played in London. And they're going to take on the Giants. Who knows with the quarterback position? There's some talk about Davis Webb being brought up from the practice squad if Daniel Jones can't go. So we'll see about that. And talking about can't go, Mac Jones said a high ankle sprain. That's why he did not play this past week. But there's been some talk about him playing in this next game, Sunday against the Lions. I don't know about that. I have to wait and see about that. But this is a perfect time for the Lions to get back on track. Your offense is humming. I don't know what's going to happen with DeAndre Swift. Not going to sure what's happening with any other the players that did not play. Eddie and Hutchinson also got injured in that game last week against Seattle. Don't know if he's going to make it. But this is a perfect time. You get the Patriots right where you want them. Their quarterback, this is the time that you can do this. And I think you need to go ahead and you need to put your stamp right here. This is what you say. We are no longer those Detroit, your grandfather, your father's Detroit Lions. This is a new Detroit Lions team, and this is the time to do it. They're here against the Patriots. The Chargers will be in Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Texans will be at the Jaguars. This will be another win for the Jaguars. The Falcons at the Buccaneers. Both teams are 2-2. Basically, you're now playing for the start of the division. That's good. That should be great. Steelers at the Bills. With the new rookie that's starting, Kenny Pickett, are the Steelers. So this Bills defense should really give him fits, I would think, and this should be a pretty easy. They said earlier on Get Up, they're a 14-point underdog. Are the Steelers? That's the highest they've ever been a underdog since 1969, when they went 1-13, and then the next year they drafted Terry Bradshaw. So Steelers, this is your chance. Can Mike Tomlin, pull a rabbit out of his hat? We're waiting to see. Tua's not going to play this week. It's the Jets and the Dolphins. This is another game for the Jets, who are also 2-2. This is a time for them to just prove that they're not, your grandfather's Jets. This is a new Jets, and Zach Wilson has a chance to improve again. The Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Bears at 2-2. They need to try to get their passing game on track with Justin Fields and the Minnesota Vikings. They need to keep pace with the Green Bay Packers. Titans at the Commanders. I talked about it earlier. This seems to be the last leg of Carson Wentz's career, and this may be the final year for Coach Ron Rivera. They need to turn it around against this Titans team who can be beat. As we've seen this year. The Seahawks and the Saints. Saints have underachieved to a lot of people's dismay. But listen, I've said this before and I say this again. Jameis Winston, I just don't think he's their guy. I think they would have been better going this year with Taysom Hill instead of moving Taysom Hill to tight end and doing all that other stuff with Taysom Hill. It would have been better just going with Taysom Hill and letting Jameis Winston move on. But we'll see what happens. Like we mentioned earlier, Seahawks are playing well. Geno Smith is playing surprisingly well. Let's see if he can continue down in New Orleans. 49ers are at the Panthers. We talked about Baker Mayfield and his struggles. The struggles of the Carolina offense. They were getting booed all last game. I was expecting to get booed all this game. I think the 49ers coming in and continue their momentum from Jimmy G taking over from Trey Lance. Eagles at the Cardinals. Eagles should keep it rolling here. The Cardinals, I think, they're just a couple more games away from getting back DeAndre Hopkins. If they can upset the Eagles, so this would be a big time boost that they needed heading into week 6. But I think the Eagles have shown that they are resilient. Jalen Hurts is resilient, and throwing the pick 6 and coming back and playing as well as he did, I think the Eagles are still gonna roll. Cowboys at the Rams. Boy, oh boy. The Rams lead this game. There's no Cooper Rush. There's Cooper Rush. There's no Dak Prescott. If you can stop the run, make Cooper Rush beat you, you're at home. This is a game that you should win. So we'll see what the Rams happen. We'll see what happens with the Rams. Sunday Night Football. The Bengals at the Ravens. Joe Burrow and the Bengals taking on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. This could be a defensive struggle. This could also be a offensive show of immense pleasure. We're just waiting to see. Obviously, what's going to happen. The Bengals need to keep Joe Burrow upright, and they need to get at Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson just needs to just play within himself. He needs to start trying. I don't know. Lamar Jackson is a good player, very good quarterback, but he can get better. And I just don't know. I think he's just always going to be the guy that's going to throw for 219 yards and run for 70 yards. And then he's going to he'll end up with 4,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. But what does that do if you still just 9-8 and 10-7 and getting eliminated in the first round of the playoffs because you can't keep up with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and with the quarterback in your own division, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert? You can't keep up with them because you can't pass like them. So, but who knows? And then of course Monday Night Football, the Raiders at the Chiefs. This should be another showcase for Patrick Mahomes to show off all of his talents and all of his gifts to the world next Monday night, October 10th. So there you have it. The recap and preview of the NFL. Alright, y'all, that is it for this week's episode of The Game According to Me. Please, if you feel the need to, you want to support your boy, go to patreon.com/AJTRIP, become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see on my YouTube channel, AJTRIP, what you see on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ATriplet20. I play the games that I have, so it'll be one of the games that you wanted to choose. I have to have it. And
what you was hear on my podcast. I have another podcast, The Word, according to me, where you can then figure out, find it out wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Is sure there. Just search The Word, according to me. Wherever you listen to this podcast, I'm sure you can find The Word. And if you're listening on Anchor, just please search the AJTRIP show. It's right there on my page. We have 3 tiers: 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, and $9.99 a month. If you feel the need to, I always say that you don't have to if you don't want to, if you can't or whatever. I just appreciate the fact that you are listening to this podcast, and you share it wherever you share it, to your socials or wherever that at. I just appreciate that so much. But if you do feel the need to want to like help financially support this podcast, then those are the ways that you can do it, through Patreon and through the Anchor.fm subscriptions. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.